So today we are going to get back into the 9/11 conspiracy for those of you who are new here to the conspiracy world after all of the Epstein files got released. And this does tie in to the Epstein stuff. And it all starts centered around this painting that was hanging in one of Epstein's houses. Now, please stick for the whole thing, especially if you're new to this conspiracy, because not only am I going to get into what seems to be missing emails around the September 11th date, but also I'm going to get into basically everything about 9/11, from the collapse of the trade centers being odd, to Building 7, to the Pentagon. So stay for the whole thing. If you are watching this on TikTok, this is probably going to be in multiple parts. If you are watching this on YouTube, then you should have the whole thing there. As you see, he's got 2 paper airplanes and 2 towers that have been knocked down, representing the Twin Towers. Now, if you'll notice, I specifically started looking for emails between January of 2001 and December of 2001. So I've gotten to around 9/11 now. And you'll notice something very suspicious going on within these emails. So most days there's quite a few emails. Like, for instance, September 16th, we've got quite a few emails here in the files. September 15th, same thing. There's, 4 or 5. But you notice when you get around September 11th, there's just no emails. We go from September 7th to September 15th without a single email. So that's very, very suspicious. And then, just around the beginning of September in general, there's not really a ton of emails here. Now, if you look before that, August, you got quite a few emails every single day, right? But it's just odd to me, because if you go through, like, let's go back to a later date, right? Let's go around June. I mean, almost every day there's emails. And there's typically a ton of them. So it's just odd to me that there is just a ton of missing emails around the September 11th date. It's clear as day that something is being left out of these. I mean, we all expected their stuff to be left out of these DOJ emails from the Epstein files. But yeah, I mean, just look at May. Every single day, tons of emails. So, very, very suspicious. Okay, first up, let's get into the trade centers.
What the fuck? What do we do? We made it outside. We made it about a block.
We made it at least 2 blocks, and we started running. Floor by floor, instead of popping out.
It was if they had detonated.
Yeah,
as if they were planned to take down a building. Boom, 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 boom.
All the way down. I was.
So now we're about to get into Building 7, but on those last videos, as you saw where the red arrows were, those were what seemed to be explosions happening below where the collapse was actually happening, almost like a controlled demolition, like you would see on a controlled demolition. If you missed it, go back, slow it down, look at those spots, but I've got the spots with the red arrows pointing at them. Now, as you see right here, Building 7 collapse. It says it fell due to an uncontrollable fire all day, and eventually it just fell. You can go look at all the reports, everything from that day. It says Building 7 just fell. But let's see what Larry Silverstein has to say, who was the leaseholder of the World Trade Center buildings at the time.
I remember getting a call from the fire department commander telling me that they were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire. And I said, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.
So wait a second, Silverstein says they decided to pull it, but the official narrative says that it collapsed on its own. Silverstein was the leaseholders of the Trade Center building, so I think he would have the correct knowledge on what actually happened. Maybe this was a slip-up. Now, for those of you who don't know what pull it means, in the demolition world, it means to bring down a building manually, not fall on itself. Now, as you can see here, this takes weeks to months to prepare to bring down a building. It's not already set up unless this was pre-planned. Now let's get into the Pentagon on 9/11.
I mean, it was like a cruise missile with wings. Went right there and slammed right into the Pentagon. Huge explosion, a great ball of fire, and smoke started billowing.
When we look at this photograph, we can see that the fire retardant foam is being sprayed on the front of the Pentagon. And again, the area in question had not yet collapsed. And you can see right in the center of the photograph a big area where some of the concrete facing has broken away, and it appears that this is the only major hole in the front of the Pentagon. Again, is this hole big enough to accommodate a 757? And where is the wreckage? In this photograph, we again see engine 331 and fire retardant foam being sprayed on the front of the Pentagon. Note clearly in the center of the photograph, we see the upper floors of the Pentagon, again, yet to collapse. But also notice that there does not appear to be any damage to these upper floors. Question: if the height of the Boeing 757 was 44 feet 6 inches, there should have been some point of impact in these upper floors, and yet when we look at these pictures, there doesn't appear to be any impact whatsoever in the area where the tail should have hit. And again, there is no wreckage visible on the front of the lawn. Now, while these photographs were being taken, videographers from several different networks were on the scene to capture the firefighters in action as they battled the blazes at the front of the Pentagon.
Jim Angle is joining us now from Washington. Jim, what can you tell us about that fire outside the Pentagon? Jim Angle, are you with us?
I can tell you first that the roads around the White House, the streets around the White House, were blocked seconds ago. Members of the Uniform Division of the Secret Service ran out to intersections and started diverting traffic. There are emergency vehicles on almost every block around the White House. The road south of the White House has also been blocked. And as you know, the White House is being evacuated. Federal employees are standing on the street corners in and around the White House, having left the building for fear of another attack. As you come into Washington from Virginia, about 2 miles from the Pentagon, you can see the smoke billowing up from the building. Huge clouds of smoke, so much so that commuters coming into town have pulled over to the side of a busy freeway, what is ordinarily a busy freeway, and are sitting, watching in amazement as the symbol of the United States Defense Establishment goes up in smoke. So there is an amazement all over Washington. People are not sure what to think. You've got a lot of federal employees standing around in this area watching as the streets are blocked off and emergency vehicles rush to and fro. We're not sure what they are up to, but clearly there is concern about the safety of them.
What could have caused this type of damage? What could have caused a 14 to 16 foot hole and pierced 3 of the rings of the Pentagon? Keep in mind that each ring of the Pentagon has an outer and inner wall, each wall approximately 18 inches thick of steel reinforced concrete. That means that each ring consisted of 36 inches or 3 feet of steel reinforced concrete for a total of approximately 9 feet of steel reinforced concrete. Question: could a 757 have pierced 9 feet of steel reinforced concrete and left a 14 to 16 foot hole and no wreckage? If not, what could have created that type of damage?
So everybody, please tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think America was involved? Do you think Epstein was involved? Do you think it's weird that there's a lot of emails missing around that date? I know what I think. I'm trying to get as many people on this train as possible. I've been literally on this train since probably 2002, 2003, deep diving into this stuff, and I see an opportunity now with more people believing in conspiracy theorist people and deciding to actually start to finally look and question things for themselves. And I think this is something people need to get into. So let me know what you guys think in the comments.